lesson number 8, we are going to talk about the emotional intelligence. Now, let us define what is emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, and manage our emotions. EQ, or emotional quotient, helps us build strong relationships to make good decisions and deal with difficult situations. It is the ability to understand and control our emotions. Emotionally intelligent people know how to recognize their negative emotions and reduce the bad impacts they have on their lives. Emotionally intelligent people stay calm, avoid conflicts, think positively, which helps them adapt to environment to achieve their goals. So therefore, emotional intelligence is very important to one's development. Bakit siya importante? So, what is the importance of emotional intelligence? So, ayun nga, ano ba yung definition niya, di ba? So, as we all know, it's not the smartest people who are the most successful or the most fulfilled in life. So, ayun, alam naman daw natin na hindi naman yung pinakamatalino yung successful sa buhay. Meron siguro kayong kakilala na academically brilliant siya, and yet they are socially incapable and unsuccessful at work or in their personal relationships. It is because their emotional intelligence is not developed. So, intellectual ability or your intelligence quotient or yung tinatawag nating IQ isn't enough on its own to achieve success in life. So, hindi daw sapat na matalino ka lang para maging successful ka sa buhay. Yes, your IQ can help you. But, ano ba yung tulong? So, yung tulong mo lang, you can memorize well, mas nare-retain lang yung mga information sa brain mo, di ba? But, it's your EQ that will help you manage the stress and emotions when facing your final exam. So, lalo na ngayon, nasa kayo, senior high school, and soon, you'll be in your college years. IQ and EQ exist in tandem and are most effective when they build off one another. So, again, hindi sapat na matalino ka lang. You also need to build your emotional quotient. Okay? Hindi sapat na si IQ lang lagi ang binibuild mo, dinedevelop mo, or finifeed mo. You also need to develop your EQ or your emotional quotient. As per David Caruso, it is very important to understand that emotional intelligence is not the opposite of intelligence. It is not the triumph of heart over head. It is the unique intersection of both. Ayon. Ang ganda ng sinabi ni David. Kasi sabi niya, kapag daw nanalo ka or na-develop mo yung EQ mo, that doesn't mean na nanalo ka na sa buhay. That doesn't mean na nanalo na yung heart mo. That doesn't mean na nanalo na yung EQ mo kesa sa IQ mo. No. So, EQ is the unique intersection of both IQ and EQ. So, it is the intersection of both IQ and EQ when it comes to how are you going to manage your stress, how are you going to be socially capable. But how are you going to improve your EQ? So, emotional intelligence is a combination of several different skills. So, here are they. Number 1, being aware of your emotions. So, being aware of your emotions, simply noticing them as we feel them. So, helps us manage our own emotions. It also helps us understand how other people feel. So, how are you going to be aware of your emotions? So, if you know your emotions, of course, you are going to know ano bang nangyayari inside you. Tama? So, if you know your emotions or if you are aware of your emotions, you will be able to know ano ba yung mga nakakaapekto sa akin. Okay? What are the thoughts that affect my behavior? So, okay? So, being aware of your emotions as well, you'll be able to know your strength and weaknesses, and you'll be able to have confidence. So sabi niya dito, it also helps us understand how other people feel. Of course, if we know our emotions, if we know how we feel, for example, you know that you are being hurt because of this thought. You know you are being hurt because of this action. So in return, you will also be able to understand how other people will feel kung ginawa mo yon. How other people will feel kapag nangyari yun sa kanila. Right? So, how are you going to improve your EQ? Number one, you need to be aware of your emotions. Ayun. So, next one, understanding how others feel and why. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, if you know your emotions, if you are aware of your emotions, you will be also able to know how other people will feel. Tama? So, part of EQ is being able to imagine how other people might feel in certain situations. Ano kaya ang mararamdaman niya kapag sinabi ko to? Ano kaya ang nararamdaman niya right now? So, if I'm going to do this, ano kaya ang mararamdaman ni ganito, ni ganyan? Okay? So, kung iiwanan ko si ganito, si ganyan, ano kaya ang mafe-feel niya? So, you try to imagine in yourself, ano bang mangyayari? In some certain situations, di ba? Ano bang mangyayari sa kanya kapag ito ang ginawa ko? Okay? So, part of being aware of your emotions, part of being aware of yourself, is understanding how others may feel and why are they going to feel it. The third one is managing emotional reactions. So, managing your reactions means knowing when, where, and how to express yourself. So, managing emotional reactions. So, hindi po sa lahat ng oras, sa lahat ng bagay, kailangan may burst of emotion tayo. Okay? So, we all know, sometimes hindi po talaga natin maiiwasan na nagagalit po tayo, sumisigaw tayo, or we are expressing our emotions or our feelings. So, part ito, yung pag-i-improve ng EQ mo, yung pagmamanage ng emotional reactions mo. So, you are already know kung kailan ka magre-react, kailan ka magre-react, di ba? Saan banda ako magre-react? Okay? And paano ako magre-react? Okay? Ano ba yung magiging respond ko sa sinabi niya? Ano ba yung sasabihin ko or isasagot ko sa sinabi niya? Ano ba yung ibabalik ko sa nagawa niya sa akin? Okay? So, that is part of improving your EQ. You already know how to manage your emotional reaction. So, you will be able to know when, kailan, where, saan, and how, paano ko i-express yung emotions ko or paano ko i-express ang sarili ko. Ito, part of managing emotion is choosing our moods. So we need to choose our moods. So moods are emotional state that last a bit. So we have the power to decide what mood is right for a situation and then to get into that mood. So yes, we have the power. Ano bang mood ang ibibigay ko with this situation? Ano bang mood ang i-offer ko sa kanila once I meet them? Ano bang mood ang ipapakita ko sa kanila once I see them? Diba? So, we need to choose the right mood in every situation. Okay? So, kung na-bad trip ka sa ibang tao, wag po natin dadalhin yung bad trip natin sa lahat ng taong makakasalamuha natin. Tama? Because kung ganun ang ginawa mo, that means you don't have a good emotional intelligence or you don't have a healthy emotional intelligence. Okay? So, we need to choose our mood on a certain situations. So, okay, we need to choose our mood. Hindi po bara-barang decision lang ang ginagawa natin or bara-barang mood lang ang pinapakita natin. Okay, we need to manage our emotions. Okay, we need to choose our mood in certain situations. We need to understand that our emotional quotient is still under construction. We are all under constructions. That's because the part of the brain that is responsible for self-management continues to mature beyond our teen years. So, but practice helps those brain pathways develop. we can all work to build even stronger emotional intelligence skills just by recognizing what we feel, understanding how we got there, understanding how others feel and why, and putting our emotions into heartfelt words when we need to. Okay? So we are still under construction, but we can improve our skill. We can improve our emotional quotient by just following the step. Ayun nga, you need to know your emotions. You need to be aware of your emotions. You need to understand how others will feel and why. Okay? And you need to put your emotions into heartfelt words only when needed. Okay? So, you need to choose your mood as well. I just want to add this. So, ano ba yung mga pwedeng maging effect kapag meron kang healthy or unhealthy EQ? Okay? So, number one, meron kang, pwede kang magkaroon ng healthy performance sa school. So, katulad nga na sinabi natin kanina, ano ba yung definition ni EQ or ni emotional intelligence? Diba sinabi natin, kung meron kang healthy emotional intelligence, that means you can already manage your stress. So, it can affect your performance sa school. If you can manage your stress, that means you can already manage your schoolworks. You can already manage your activities, your quizzes, di ba? So, mas nagiging ano ka na. Meron ka ng standard. So, meron ka ng standard or meron ka ng sinusundan. Kaya, mas namamanage mo na yung stress mo. That means you already have the healthy emotional intelligence. Pwede rin itong maka-affect sa health ninyo. So, if you don't have the, or kung hindi mo na ma-manage na maayos yung emotional intelligence mo, that means hindi mo kaya ding i-manage yung stress mo. So, that can lead to a high blood pressure, di ba? Ano pa ba yung mga pwedeng mangyari sa katawan natin? Pwede kang magkaroon ng eating disorder, di ba? So, mas malala yung mangyayari sa body natin if we won't be able to manage our stress or our emotions. Pwede rin siyang maka-affect sa mental health natin. Okay? So, sa mga previous lesson natin na pag-usapan natin, how are we going to take care of our mental health? So, isa ito. We can take care of our mental health by improving our EQ or our emotional intelligence. And also, pwede rin siya maka-affect sa relationships mo. Okay? So, by understanding your emotions and how to control them, you're better able to express how you feel and understand how others are feeling. Especially kung partner mo siya, kung boyfriend mo siya, kung girlfriend mo siya. Okay? If you already understand your own emotions, you will be able to know how to control your own emotion as well. Okay? So, in that way, mas ma-express mo yung sarili mo and mas maiintindihan mo kung ano yung mararamdaman or nararamdaman ng boyfriend or girlfriend mo. Okay? So, it also allows you to communicate more effectively. Okay? And you will be able to have a stronger relationships. Okay? And, ayun. Ayun yung mga karagdagang information kung bakit importanteng i-improve natin yung emotional intelligence natin. Now, let us talk about what are the types of responses. So, kadugtong ng pagde-develop natin sa emotional intelligence natin, we should also know what are the types of responses. Okay? So, napag-usapan natin kanina, di ba? You'll be able to communicate well if you already have or if you know that you already develop your emotional intelligence. Okay? So, paano ka ba magre-respond dapat? Okay? Paano mo ba dapat ine-express ang sarili mo when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your mood? So, ito yung mga responses. Number one, we have the passive response. So, what is passive response? So, passive response means not expressing your own needs and feelings or expressing them so weakly that they will not be addressed. So, what is the example of passive communication? So, this is a form of communication in which the person does not share his or her wants, needs, desires, or opinions. So, ayun, hindi daw niya sinishare. So, yung parang, okay lang, kahit hindi na ako magsalita. So, ganun si passive communication. So, ano ba yung may bibigay nating example? For example, you are at the restaurant and then you were asking for a thigh part ng chicken. Sige, punta na lang tayo sa Jollibee. Okay? So, habang nag-order ka, you ask for thigh part ng Jollibee. And then, as your order arrived, dumating wings. So, hindi si thigh part ang dumating. Wings po ang dumating. And then, nung may lumapit sa'yo na manager, they ask you if everything is okay, is the food is okay, is everything is fine. Ang sinagot mo lang is yes. So, ayun, no? Yun yung passive communication. Hindi ka nagsalita na sinabi mo na, actually, I asked for a thigh part, but you gave me wings. 'Di ba? So, hindi mo shinare yung, ano ba yung opinion mo? Ano ba yung needs mo? Ano ba yung wants mo? 'Di ba? So, ganun lang siya. So, nung tinanong ka kung okay lang ba ang lahat, sinabi mo lang, yes. Okay lang po ang lahat. Okay? So, that is one example of passive communication. So, what is the problem with this? So, what is the problem with passive communication? So, the passive communication is, yung magiging problema niya, it leaves you feeling as if your opinion doesn't matter and you don't have a voice. So, it can lead to the build-up of resentment and trains other people to treat you like a doormat. Gusto nyo ba yon? Of course not. Di ba? So, we can use passive communication on certain situations lang. But if it is needed, please do not use the passive communication. Okay? You need to share your thoughts. You need to share your feelings. You need to share your wants, your needs, your desires, your opinions. Okay? So, do not be a passive. Next, we have the aggressive response. So, ayun, sa term pa lang, aggressive na. Diba? So, what is aggressive response? It is asking for what you want or saying how you feel in a threatening, sarcastic, or humiliating way that may offend the other person. So, what is aggressive response? Or aggressive communication. So, this is a form of communication opposite sa passive communication. So, ito naman, sobra-sobra naman ang pag-share niya ng thoughts niya, ng opinions niya, ng desire niya, ng wants niya. Okay? So, siya? Natitreat niya na yung ibang tao inhumanely. Hindi na makatao yung pagtrato niya or yung pag-communicate niya with other people. Okay? So, example natin kanina is nag-order ka ng Jollibee, thigh part, and then binigay sa'yo wings. So, dito sa aggressive communication, ang mangyayari, kapag tinanong ka ng manager, ang mangyayari, you will explode. So, ang mangyayari, sisigawan mo yung waitress, sisigawan mo yung manager, you will tell them that they are not capable of doing their job well. Okay? So, tinitreat mo sila in sarcastic way or inhumane, hindi makatao. Okay? Ano bang mangyayari? Ano ba yung problem dito? So, the problem with aggressive communication is it rarely solves problem. So, hindi siya nakakasolve ng problem because you are just creating a big mess. So, you are just creating a big scene by yelling or by exploding. Tama? Usually, after verbal explosions, there are na-hurt yung feelings, walls are built in relationship, and the problem resurfaces after. Ayun. People learn to avoid others who are aggressive because they don't want to get caught in the line of fire. So, ayaw nilang madamay sa gulo. Okay? That's why, kapag alam nila na aggressive ka, or kapag alam nila na you have the aggressive response, lumalayo na sila sa'yo. Okay? So, they try to avoid you. Okay? At the moment, kapag aggressive ka, you may feel better because you already express your feeling. You may feel better because nailabas mo na yung nag-explode ka na. Nailabas mo na yung needs mo, yung wants mo, yung desire mo. Kasi alam mo, narinig ka nila narinig na nila yung sinabi mo. But, the problem here is, you lose the relationship. Okay? And you will have difficulty making another relationship with other people. So, again, don't be an aggressive responder. And last one is the assertive response. So, what is assertive response? So, behaving assertively means asking for what you want or saying how you feel in an honest and respectful way that does not infringe on another person's right or put the individual down. So, pinakamaganda po si assertive response or si assertive communication. So, this is the best way to communicate. So, this form of communication is characterized by honesty and direct approach. So, let's take the example of the man with the, ulitin natin yung example natin na humihingi ka ng Thai part. Okay? So, ang mangyayari, binigyan ka ng wings. Then, bumalik sa'yo si manager or si waitress. So, si assertive communication, ang mangyayari, you will speak to them with a soft heart, with a soft voice, and with honest answer. So, sasabihin mo, actually, ma'am, I asked for Thai part. So, can I just give it back to you? And can you please replace it with Thai part? I am willing to wait. Diba? Gumamit ka ulit ng win-win strategy. Okay? So, wala kang nasaktan ibang tao. And natuwa pa yung manager because you are honest. Okay? So, sinabi mo pa na you are more than willing to wait for your order. So, that is a very good type of communication. So, ang gagamitin po natin, this is the best way, yung assertive communication. Okay? Yung iba naman, yung assertive communication daw, masyadong forward. So, yung ginagamit ng iba is passive. But for me, assertive communication is good because this is an honest communication. So, hindi ka na nagsusugarcoat. Agad-agad, sinasabi mo na in an honest way na alam mong walang masasaktan or na alam mong hindi ka makakapag-down ng ibang tao. Okay? So, those are the three types of responses. And that's it for our lesson number 8. I'll see you again on our next lesson.